Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the post show. I'm your host, DJ Wilma, and we just finished our series of the day. It was the only CVC matchup so C as in Southeast Asian Dota versus Southeast Asian Dota that we have seen in the Moon Studio Mid-Autumn League. But let's get right into it. So that series did consist of Motivate.Trust Gaming versus Neon Esports, which me and Moon had talked about it. I predicted that Motivate.Trust Gaming was going to win it, but I figured it would be a very close series. I figured it'd be a very, very close series, and I was incorrect. So game one was a doozy of a draft. So Motivate.Trust Gaming, they decided to draft an Oracle, which made sense. Tiny, cool. Underlord mid, Leshrac off lane, Lifestealer safe. Okay, that's an interesting draft, but they were up against a Bloodseeker. I think he was a Bloodseeker position 4, which was, they had a safe lane, Luna, they had an off lane, Beastmaster, a mid Snapfire, and then I guess a position 5 Vengeful Spirit. Man, that game was just like, so basically what happens, I looked at that game and I'm like, okay, so Motivate.Trust Gaming wants to do Run At You Dota. Whenever you have a Tiny and you have a Lifestealer, it's a lot of Run At You Dota. You had the Underlord who was super tanky, who hard won his lane, like super hard won his lane. There was like no chance whatsoever. So the game kind of starts going in favor of Motivate.Trust Gaming and then never stops. It's a 25-minute game, and that's it. That was the end of the game. Unfortunately, it just seemed like they were never getting a chance. Both Lifestealer and Tiny goes 11-0. Position 4 Tiny goes 11-0. Q popping off like crazy. But then we get into game number 2. Now game number 2 was a head scratcher of a draft. Okay, so Neon Esports goes Oracle and Earth Spirit. So you're like, oh, okay, Earth Spirit could be a flex pick. Then they go Mars, and you're like, okay, so Mars is also a flex pick. Could go mid, could go off lane. So you have a couple of ones that could go mid, and then you got Pango. Okay, so Pango, Mars, and Earth Spirit could all go off lane, or they could all end up somehow in the mid lane. And then you have a Drow coming in. Now, the Drow was the last pick, and the Drow was picked into an Undying, a Snapfire, a Void Spirit, a Bloodseeker, which already you knew that Bloodseeker was going up against the Drow, which was like, why would you ever go into that lane? And then last pick into an Alchemist. So that Alchemist, okay, so basically to tell you how this game went, for the first, I would say, 15 minutes, the kill count was heavily in favor of Neon Esports, but the net worth never got on their side. This Alchemist died once. This Alchemist went 11-1, only died once, was able to just keep farming. At some point, I think for the later half of the game, he had double the net worth of the Drow, so it was no contest. Now, there was this really clutch save, and I want to point out, I think Q was probably the MVP of the series, and I think Q is going to be the crucial player to bring Motivate.Trust Gaming into the grand finals if they can beat the Monster. Because at one point, the team fight went terrible for Motivate.Trust Gaming. Q on his Snapfire was just like, excuse me for a second, waddle. Alchemist is down to literally like this much health, like almost no health whatsoever, and just eats the Alchemist. He just eats the Alchemist. I was like, what a save. It was so good. Snapfire gives his life where Alchemist survives, gets some return kills, and Alchemist never gets killed again. Alchemist only dies once early in the game. After that, free game, man. Free game. Couldn't stop him. You couldn't, it would literally be like Neon Esports would get 4 kills, but Alchemist would survive, and that was all they needed. Alchemist was all the net worth. Alchemist had 33k net worth with, what was his GPM? A 1.2k GPM. He didn't even give an Agnims to his team. He's like, I'm just going to take the Agnims. I'm going to take everything. I don't need you guys. I'm just going to nom. And that was the series. So MTG, I think, looked dominant, massively so, and I think they're on fire. Like, they looked so much better than that series against the Monster. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to be like, what's the next series? It's Motivate.Trust Gaming versus the Monster in the lower bracket finals. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen because I want to give the favor to Motivate.Trust Gaming because they're on fire, and the Munster kind of came off a loss off of LBZS. LBZS still in the grand finals, waiting for the winner of this. I'm going to favor Motivate.Trust Gaming. I think it's going to be a closer series than this last series. I think Motivate.Trust Gaming knew what Neon Esports, like when you have an interregional competition, usually there's a team that generally just comes out on top. It's a lot less competitive. When you have two regions competing against each other, like China versus C, it's really hard to say. Motivate.Trust Gaming, I think, are on fire. I think they're going to come out 2-1 in the next series, but we'll have to wait and see until tomorrow. It's bright and early. I think on my time, it's a 5 a.m. series, so you got to come in. You got to watch early. Be sure to tune into Moon Studio tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning and the 28th is the grand finals. So I'll see you there. I'll be in chat. I'll be modding. So come in, say hi, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great one. Peace.